Hello, and welcome to Modern Blueprint, the podcast where we deconstruct today's most pressing social trends. I'm your host, James. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating topic, the modern maze of love and relationships.
Hmm.
We're seeing some statistics that suggest women are becoming increasingly selective when choosing a long-term partner.
Yeah.
And this has a ripple effect on everything from dating to marriage. I'm joined by my wonderful co-hosts, Chloe, Maya, and Sophia. Welcome, everyone.
Thanks for having us, James. I think selective is the right word.
Right.
And frankly, it's about time. Absolutely. It's less about being picky and more about being purposeful. Totally. Women today have more agency than ever before. And that agency changes the entire dynamic of relationship formation. It really does. We're not just following a pre-written script anymore.
That's a great point, Sophia. Let's start there. Chloe, you said it's about time. What do you mean by that? For decades, the narrative was about, finding a partner to build a life with.
Right.
But what has fundamentally shifted?
Well, financial independence is a huge one. Oh, definitely. Historically, marriage was often an economic proposition for women. Now, that's just not the case for many.
Right.
We can build our own lives, our own careers, and buy our own homes. So a partner becomes an addition to our life, not a necessity for survival. Exactly. And with that, the criteria change. You're not looking for a provider in the traditional sense. You're looking for a true partner, someone who complements your life. Yes, that means emotional intelligence, shared values, and a willingness to be a genuine teammate become top priorities. I think social media and the whole self-help boom also play a part. Oh, that's a good point. There's so much more emphasis on personal growth, therapy, and understanding your own needs.
Hmm.
So women are entering the dating world with a much clearer picture of what they want and, more importantly, what they won't tolerate.
That's a really interesting point about self-awareness. So it's not just about economic freedom, but also a kind of psychological freedom.
Yeah.
But does this increased selectivity, combined with things like dating apps, create a paradox of choice,
Oh, for sure.
where having too many options actually makes it harder to choose anyone?
Oh, 100%. It's overwhelming. You're swiping through hundreds of profiles, and it's easy to think maybe someone better is just one more swipe away. Right. It can lead to a constant state of what if and just make it hard to commit. But I'd argue that's a good filter. If someone isn't compelling enough to make you stop swiping,
Hmm,
then they probably weren't the right one for you anyway. It forces you to look for a real connection, not just someone who ticks a few boxes on a profile. It's a double-edged sword for sure. On one hand, you have access to so many people you'd never meet otherwise. True. On the other, it can, I don't know, commodify people and lead to burnout. It takes a lot of energy to sift through it all and not become jaded. Yeah. You have to be really intentional about how you use those platforms.
it sounds like the key word here is intentionality, being intentional about your own growth, what you're looking for, and how you engage with the dating process.
Exactly.
This seems to connect to another major trend. People are getting married later, if at all, and there's a huge desire to avoid divorce.
Yes.
Is this selectivity a direct response to seeing the high divorce rates of previous generations?
I would say so, definitely. We're the children of the divorce boom in many cases. Wow, yeah. We saw what happens when people settle or get married for the wrong reasons. We'd rather be single and happy than partnered and miserable. Exactly. The stigma around being single has diminished significantly. So much. It's now seen as a valid and often empowering life choice, so the pressure to partner up just to avoid being alone is gone. Right. That freedom allows you to wait for someone who is truly right for you, not just right now. Yeah, and it's a big deal. Choosing to spend your life with someone is probably the biggest decision you'll ever make.
It is.
It makes total sense to be incredibly discerning about it. It's not about being picky, it's about being smart.
A fascinating discussion. It seems the modern woman isn't being picky, she's being strategic, self-aware, and intentional, reshaping the landscape of love for everyone. That's all the time we have for today on Modern Blueprint. A huge thank you to Chloe, Maya, and Sophia.
Thanks, James. Thanks for having us, James. Thank you.